In this video, I want to go through one of the most important things for approval when you're trying to get a VA home loan, especially if you have a lower credit score. So if you're a veteran with a low credit score, be sure to watch all the way to the end of this video because I'm going to give you some tips that might just make or break your approval. So let's get into it. So first of all, why do you want to do a letter of explanation? Well, many lenders will require a letter of explanation, especially during a manual underwrite. And if you have a lower score, um, and you actually want to do this because it gives you a chance to tell your side of the story. Credit scores don't tell everything. That's one of the things I love as a loan officer where I'm working on the VA home loan is that it's a very, very flexible program. The VA specifically designed it to be flexible. But we need to know what's going on and need to know your side of the story. And so that's especially important when we're doing manual underwrite, which is typically where we'll see these requests for letter of explanation. So first of all, let's talk about what is manual underwriting. So there are two different types of underwriting. There's automated underwriting, which is where we have software that determines whether you're approved or not. There's manual underwriting, where basically the software can't determine approval, and the underwriter has to actually read the credit report and determine whether or not you are a good credit risk. Now, typically they will look for a year or no installment lates, although it's not even a VA requirement, but pretty much everybody has that. Also, you will need at least 2 years with no lates on rent. And I have a couple other videos where I go deeper into that topic. But that's just the high level overview of what you need to get a manual underwrite. Now, the VA actually has a rule called extenuating circumstances. I'm going to go briefly through that. I've got a couple of videos that go a lot deeper into that. With extenuating circumstance, you can use those if you're able to tie the bad credit in with extenuating circumstance. In other words, extenuating circumstance caused the late payments to happen. And there are a few allowable and unallowable extenuating circumstances. And just a quick review, like I said, I have a couple other videos that mention this. Medical situations, layoff situations certainly would count. Inability to sell a departing residence. We don't see a lot of these, but those count as well. And here are a few things you need to know when you're doing that letter of explanation. First of all, don't try to hide things. Just be upfront about everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. We will find things, and there's nothing worse than not mentioning things in that letter of explanation, and then we go and pull some things. Like, for example, I did a $45,000 tax lien that he forgot to mention to us, and surprise, surprise, we found it later, and not so surprising he didn't get that loan. And he wasted a lot of time and money. He wasted